There's a story I really like to tell, and it's a story that my father told me. My father's, he really is a funny guy. He really has a good sense of humor. And he was telling me the story. This happened on Rosebud Sioux Reservation. Now, let me set it up first. Typical early days Christmas. Now, this is before I was born, okay? I'm talking, this is like 1900s here, early 1900s. It would be an all-day event. Usually at every Indian community there was a community building, and sometimes that community building was the church. So all the people living around the area would show up there, bring their family, and they might butcher a cow or something. And the men folks would be spending the early morning doing this. They're going to cut the pieces of meat up and they're going to make several soups. There's a delicacy soup called khanija. Traditionally, this was made out of buffalo intestines. But see, we didn't have buffalo at the beginning of the reservation, so we had to use the next best thing, which was cows. So as they butcher the cow and they take off the insides and they really clean it out. They take a long time to clean it out, they soak it, and then they boil it all day. I think a couple hours before they are going to serve it, they put corn in, wild turnips, they call it timsila, maybe some onions, and maybe some potatoes. They put that in there. When this is ready, I grew up on this, yeah? This is delicious. This is probably the best tasting soup ever. Khanija. Just describing that, I am getting hungry for it. It really stinks, but it tastes great, yeah? That's fantastic. But you have to grow up on that, yeah? Because, like, Lakota kids today, see, they don't know this thing. They smell it and they go, "Oh, gee, get away," you know? And if they take a try when they're teenagers, they can't handle it. Yeah, it's like, gross. They spit it out. You have to grow up with it. But there's rare exceptions, and some people try it for the first time as adults, and they just totally fall in love with it. so, so they do that, and of course, beef soup. Meanwhile, the men are doing that. The women folks are inside the building, and they're making other foods. Yeah, like mashed potatoes, potato salads, all kinds of other things, pies and cakes and stuff like that. And this is out in the country, yeah. So the kids go to a hill nearby and they make makeshift sleds with whatever they can, and spend the day sliding down and stuff like that. And then, as evening comes, they go inside the building. All these old buildings had old stoves that you heat with wood, so they would go in and warm up, and then the parents would have them play indoor kind of games. And then evening time comes, then they take small plates of food outside and they go to the cemetery that's nearby, and then they feed the souls. Then after that, they go back inside the building and they sing Christmas carols, and then usually the community during the year has saved up money. So what they do is they got bags of peanuts and this hard candy, and they get apples and oranges, and they put these inside paper sacks and they hand that out to the kids. It was really a joyful thing. This was the early days. There was no Santa yet. Not yet. That's going to come a little bit later. And so it was a time for the community to get together, work together, play together, pray together, sing together, and feast together. This is really in line with Lakota community style singing. And sometime in the middle of the night they break it up and everybody goes home, their team and wagon and stuff like that. That's how it was in the early days. Now, as time goes on, maybe 20, 30 years, now the introduction of Santa Claus comes in, and there's stories that explain how this man called Wazia got transformed into the Lakota version of Santa Claus. Traditionally, we don't have Santa Claus, but the Christians transformed certain elements from some stories and they mutated it, tainted it, so that it develops into this Santa Claus-like kind of figure. So now he would come in and he would have a bag full of candies, just like I said before, hard candy, peanuts, apple oranges, and things like that. Hard chocolate. It's like a dome shape. They only have this in Christmas time. It's really thick. It has like some kind of a hard cream on the inside. I don't even know what they call them, but man, they're really not that tasty. But see, when you're a little kid on the res, we don't really have access to candy all the time. So to see all these colorful hard candies and these chocolate kind of things is wonderful. Yeah, that was our first introduction to chocolate, you could say. So usually the Santa Claus would do something funny. He's always a funny guy, and he comes in like he might be kissing the women and things like that, and he's gonna tell some jokes. Like he'll say something like the tires on his reindeer went flat, so he had to walk the rest of the way. Just things that don't even make sense. But when you hear this in Lakota as a little kid, it's just hilarious. Yeah. And so that's how that was. What families would do is they would bring their presents to the church, to the community Christmas. Usually there was an agreement that you say from Santa Claus, and then you put your kid's name on the tag. So when Santa Claus comes, he'll go to the tree, then he'll grab a present, and he'll call out the person's name. So, hey, kids are standing there all excited and stuff like that. And usually the community will do fundraising throughout the year. And part of that fundraising, they buy extra toys for children who may be with families that are visiting. Because normally, sometime in the fall, they go around house to house and they get the names of every kid living there in the community, so that way they know how many toys to buy for the community. Because the community will buy toys for the kids in addition to families buying toys for their own kids. This way, every kid gets something. Nobody's left out. And then they'll ask their families, are you going to have any relatives coming in? And how many kids do they have? So they get a rough idea of how this is going to go. So they always buy extra stuff so that if there are kids there that are guests, then they're going to get something. Everybody's going to get fed. There's always more than enough food. There's always so much food that people get to take home leftovers. It's always nice. Yeah, you can eat later again. And people started eating turkeys and stuffing, and now they're eating more of an American-style diet. Real cranberries and things like that. And then, Santa Claus comes and does these funny things and tells these funny stories. And like I said, you go to the Christmas tree and grab a present, shout out a person's name. Sometimes they have volunteers, the adults. It's just exciting because there's like 4 or 5 grown men that are respected men in the community. They're all grabbing presents and they're holding it up and they say the names. So you really have to listen in. So they're making it exciting for the kids. So you really have to tune your ears to make sure that you hear your name. And little kids run up there and hug their present and hug Santa Claus and come back to where they're sitting and open their presents, and everybody's like, wow, look at what I got. See? And other kids will go, wow. See, people were happy for each other in those days. That was really community style thinking. And that's how it was for me when I was a little kid. Anyway, my dad was a young man. He was probably in his 20s, and he was telling the story. And on the Rosebud Sioux Reservation, he said it was going the same way like what I just described. Yeah, the men folks were watching the soup outside, and the women folks were making food, and kids were playing all over the place and stuff like that. And then early evening was coming. They already had their meal, and they were getting ready for Santa Claus. And usually a lot of communities, they have a Christmas program. They do that nativity thing. We did that too, where the Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus, and 3 wise men, 3 shepherds, and the sheep, and the geese, the postman, or whatever's in the nativity thing. We always did that as well. See, reservations were becoming Christian. So anyway, after that, Santa Claus comes in and does his thing, like I explained. So Santa Claus came into the church doing his funny thing, and a lot of them wear masks. You don't know who they are. And of course, the little kids, they can't know either. So a lot of these guys, they wore the Santa Claus masks along with the whole getup, the red suit and the beard and all that kind of thing. So Santa Claus was coming in here. Like I said, a lot of times they really do silly things. They might kiss their mother-in-law or something. Yeah, it really gets funny. And here, the man who's playing Santa Claus, he saw his wife, and there was another man that was trying to flirt with her. She was laughing at this guy. Oh, you, that kind of thing. And so he didn't like it that his wife seemed to be flirting back. In his Santa Claus costume, he went over there and he really smacked that guy. So to everybody, it looked like Santa Claus went over there and hit this guy. So this guy got up and he hit Santa back in the stomach, so Santa fell on the floor. And at first, people thought it was an act, because people do things like this just to be funny. Here, Santa Claus got up and he grabbed the chair and he hit it over the head on the other guy. So the guy fell on the floor and he was kind of knocked out. So Santa Claus got on top of that guy and was really pounding. And while he was hitting this guy, his mask moved to the side of his face. So it looked like the Santa Claus was looking at the people and really smiling while he was beating the crap out of this guy. He gave this guy a bloody nose. This blood was starting to go all over the floor, and there the kids were screaming, and they called the cops. So the police showed up, and they had to subdue Santa Claus. They had to pin him to the ground. They put handcuffs on him, and he still had that mask to the side of his face, just smiling. So they put him in the back of the cop car. So it looked like he was looking out the side, like he was looking out the window, smiling at everybody. They took Santa Claus to jail, That's probably one of the craziest. That has to be one of the craziest Christmas stories I ever heard. Uh, that, this, my dad really has funny memories like that. He said the men were just laughing because it looked just funny. Looked like Santa Claus was looking to the people. He was really smiling. At the same time, he was beating the crap out of this guy that was flirting with his wife, and then he got arrested. They took Santa Claus away in the cop car. He's looking out the window, really smiling. Didn't even bother to take that mask off. He just left it like that. Oh man, it's too crazy. Funny things happen like that. That's a real reservation Santa Claus. Christmas reservation style. Santa Claus got thrown in jail. Oh man, that's probably the year nobody forgets. The guy went down in history. Oh man, my dad really made me laugh with that one. Oh, gosh. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this video. I really appreciate it. And if you would like to send a special thanks in support of this channel, look at the bottom of this video where the title is, and right under that, where it says like, dislike, and share, right in that area, slide it towards the left, and you will see the symbols change, and then you will see a heart-shaped button that says thanks on it. If you would like to click on there to send your thanks of support, I would really appreciate it, as I really do enjoy making these videos and speaking with you and spending some time with you. So again, thank you very much for listening. To learn more about Lakota spirituality, I have written a book called Wichocha Otechike. This book also includes Lakota Star Knowledge information. All the videos that I make, which are about Lakota spirituality, Lakota Star Knowledge, and cultural information, are based on this book. This book costs 99 American dollars. This price includes the shipping cost. And to learn more about Lakota language, I have written a Lakota language book called Chante Etanha Owoglake, Speaking from the Heart. And all my Lakota language videos are based on this book. This book costs 119 American dollars. This price includes the shipping cost. I also teach online, and I give spiritual consultations as well. If you are interested in any of my services and products, you can send payment via PayPal to my email address, which is hehaka7@yahoo.com. That's HEHAKA, the number 7, @yahoo.com. When you send your payment, please include your shipping address and your email address. Ho, lila pilamayelo. Thank you very much. In the Lakota way, everything is circular. As a result, we do not have a word for goodbye in the Lakota language. And so instead we say until next time, which in Lakota is Doksha Ake. And I will catch you in the next video.